What's going on, y'all? Mile High Sports here, Swipa here. Y'all know what time it is. The Denver Broncos have finally trimmed their roster down to 53 players. So there's some news to get to, some things we got to talk about, but I think at the end of the preseason with the game they had, obviously versus the LA Rams, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to, a lot of stuff to be thankful about. We're going to see a revitalized Russell Wilson, hopefully. Javonte Williams is back. Obviously, Tim Patrick goes down, Achilles injury. Jerry Jeudy, thankfully, was not put on the short-term IR, possibly still available for week one, but we'll see. There is good news to be had. Sean Payton seems to be getting what he wants to get accomplished done with the Denver Broncos offense. Their defense is going to be elite as always, but there's some news surrounding that. It just came out that Kwan Williams is going to have surgery, so we're not actually sure if he's going to be on short-term IR or long-term IR for the rest of the season. We're going to find out. Obviously, Broncos country, hope he makes it back. He's a great player, played 14 games last year, but that means Essang Bassey has to step up. Now, if you've been watching Essang Bassey, 3 interceptions in 3 preseason games. He has a lot of potential. He's very athletic, but a lot of this, y'all know, playing nickel, playing in the slot, you got to be technically sound. You have to be able to protect and run stop. So if he can do that at a good enough level, this defense can be one of the very best in the NFL. The secondary is going to be stacked. The linebackers, Singleton, Josie Jewell, Drew Sanders, Justin Strnad, they're going to have a great opportunity to be one of the better interior linebacking cores in the NFL. But it comes down to execution and play, recognizing when you got play action, run game, pass game, all that stuff. The D-line, Zach Allen, the rest of the roster, they should be good as well. Now, it's going to be interesting because obviously because they don't have the elite level pass rushers, you got Randy Gregory, Frank Clark, you got Coop. But a lot of this is going to come down to Vance Joseph, execution of blitz packages. How can they make sure they're generating pressure? That way the DBs don't have to hold up for 4, 5, 6 seconds. So the defense, everything is there. It's lit. It's good to go. It's about staying healthy at this point. But if the defense can continue to replicate what it did last year by being one of the upper echelon, top 2 to 3 defenses in the NFL, they're going to be settling that side. But now it comes down to the offense. So as you all are very aware, the Broncos had many opportunities to go after different players so far this offseason. First, it was DeAndre Hopkins. He obviously wanted out of Arizona. The Broncos could have added him to the roster if they wanted to. They didn't feel like they needed him because at the time, they got Marvin Mims in the second round. You had Cortland Sutton. You had Jerry Jeudy. You had Tim Patrick. They didn't go after it. Cool, no problem. And then Jonathan Taylor unexpectedly demands a trade from the Indianapolis Colts, and the report is that they didn't even put an offer for him. So why do you think they didn't go after Dalvin Cook? They didn't go after Jonathan Taylor. They didn't go after Kareem Hunt. If I'm a part of the fan base of Broncos country, this is my takeaway. That means they feel awfully good about Javonte Williams. And that really should be, I think, the viewpoint for a lot of people in Denver. So Javonte, again, remember 2 years ago, his rookie year, had about 1,200 all-purpose yards. He gets an opportunity last year to become the number 1 back, obviously still sharing somewhat with Melvin Gordon, and then he ends up getting hurt and tearing his ACL. But Javonte has looked good. His snaps have increased as every practice has gone on. The coaching staff, the medical staff, everybody has said that it's been one of the quickest recoveries they've ever seen. And he played in all of the snaps versus San Francisco with the ones as well. So here's the thing. If the Broncos don't go after high-end top talent from running backs, then I think Javonte Williams is good to go. And I would even expect that as the year begins, he might be a little slow, but as the year goes on and get midseason into the end of the season, I think Javonte is going to be able to prove why he's a clear number 1 back in the NFL this year. And I think with Samaje Perine as well, who's one of the best backups in the league, obviously backed up Joe Mixon with the Cincinnati Bengals, they have a really strong run game. And you know what? To add to that room, one of the stories of the Broncos camp, Jaleel McLaughlin. Y'all, he has looked incredible. Now, one of the reasons that he did not get picked up is because he's small. He doesn't have great top-end speed. He's not very strong. But look, the dude is elusive. He can read gaps really well. He knows how to play football, and he's smart, and he plays hard. He's going to be their 3rd back. So the Broncos are going to have an opportunity to have Javonte, Samaje, and Jaleel, and they're going to have, hopefully, if everybody's able to stay healthy, which is one of the questions about the Denver Broncos, they're going to have one of the better running back rooms in the NFL. So you put all that together, you give Russell Wilson Mike McGlinchey, you give him Ben Powers, you give him a healthy Garrett Bowles, you give them an opportunity to build around one of the best offensive lines in the league. Russell Wilson, with Sean Payton, has an opportunity to have a bounce-back year. Now, here's the thing. I think with the improvement of Russell, with the additions made to the offensive line, with the healthy Javonte, eventually Jerry Jeudy will be back. Cortland Sutton is healthy. They got other players, Brandon Johnson, Marvin Mims, Greg Dulcich, Adam Troutman. They will have players that are able to catch, able to create space, able to get down the field on some of these 9 routes. They'll have more than enough to be a good team and to be able to execute at a high level. But all this comes down to Russell Wilson because he has to make the 53-man roster work. And I believe that he can. Sean Payton believes that he can. Broncos country. I understand why so many people are a little hesitant to accept Russell right now. But again, if he comes out this year strong, they have very winnable games early. And again, this 53-man roster is going to be flanked by an elite defense, a very strong run game, and good receivers. Russell has to be able to get the job done. The interior defensive line, interior offensive line will also be good. They should be able to have a lot of movement up front on both ends of the ball. So if you do that, plus with some high-level coaching from Sean Payton, I think you should be really excited. I think that this 53-man roster should excite you. Now, again, this doesn't mean that they're a guaranteed playoff team. This doesn't mean they're headed to the Super Bowl. But what it does mean, they're going to be competitive. They'll be in every game because they have the coaching, because they have the roster, they have the pieces. But once again, as everything else is in the NFL, if you got the quarterback, then you can go as far as you need to. So hopefully Russell Wilson is able to put it together. But I believe with another year from Javonte Williams, Jerry Jeudy, and Cortland Sutton, having the opportunity to build around Pat Surtain, Justin, Damari Mathis, Hussein Bassi, having Alex Singleton and Josie Jewell, having the front with DJ Jones and Allen, I think they can do something special. If Randy Gregory, Frank Clark, if they're able to play a relatively healthy season, again, all the pieces are there and they can surprise a lot of people. Because right now, most folks are not predicting that the Denver Broncos will make any significant steps this season, even with the addition of Sean Payton. But I think that preseason has shown us that this year's Denver Broncos is not last year's. The 53-man roster is set. Who did you think that the Broncos should have picked up? Are you excited about what they have on the roster right now? Are there any surprise cuts that you were not expecting? Albert Okwuegbunam has a great third game of the preseason, and now all of a sudden he's traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for an exchange of him and a 7th-round pick for a Philadelphia Eagles 6th-round pick in the 2025 draft. Are you surprised? Let me know in the comment section. Hey, you know what it is? Mile High Sports, Swipa, we out. I'll see y'all soon.